Hello friends, welcome to my channel Rio. This is chapter 43 of Autobiography of a Yogi, part 3, where Mukunda asks, Gurudeva, are all astral beings beautiful? Here goes the reply of Sriyukteswar. Beauty in the astral world is known to be a spiritual quality and not an outward conformation. Sriyukteswar replied, Astral beings therefore attach little importance to facial features. They have the privilege, however, of costuming themselves at will with new, colorful, astrally materialized bodies. Just as worldly men don new array for gala events, so astral beings find occasions to bedeck themselves in specially designed forms. Joyous astral festivities on the higher astral planets like Hiranyaloka take place when a being is liberated from the astral world through spiritual advancement and is therefore ready to enter the heaven of the causal world. On such occasions, the invisible Heavenly Father and the saints who are merged in Him materialize themselves into bodies of their own choice and join the astral celebration. In order to please His bestowed devotee, the Lord takes any desired form. If the devotee worshipped through devotion, he sees God as a divine mother. To Jesus, the Father aspect of the Infinite One was appealing beyond other conceptions. The individuality with which the Creator has endowed each of His creatures makes every conceivable and inconceivable demand on the Lord's versatility. My Guru and I laughed happily together. Friends of other lives easily recognize one another in the astral world. Sri Yukteswar went on in his beautiful flute-like voice. Rejoicing at the immortality of friendship, they realized the indestructibility of love, often doubted at the time of the sad, delusive partings of the earthly life. The intuition of astral beings pierces through the veil and observes the human activities on earth, but man cannot view the astral world unless his sixth sense is somewhat developed. Thousands of earth dwellers have momentarily glimpsed an astral being or an astral world. The advanced beings on Hiranyaloka remain mostly awake in the ecstasy during the long astral day and night, helping to work out intricate problems of cosmic government and the redemption of prodigal sons, earthbound souls. When the Hiranyaloka beings sleep, they have occasional dream-like astral visions. Their minds are usually engrossed in the conscious state of highest nirvikalpa bliss. Inhabitants in all parts of the astral worlds are still subject to mental agonies. The sensitive minds of the higher beings on the planet like Hiranyaloka feel knee pain if any mistake is made in conduct or perception of truth. These advanced beings endeavor to attune their every act and thought with the perfection of spiritual law. Communication among the astral inhabitants is held entirely by astral telepathy and television. There is none of the confusion and misunderstanding of the written and spoken world which earth dwellers must endure. Just as persons on the cinema screen appear to move and act through a series of light pictures and do not actually breathe, so the astral beings walk and work as intelligently guided and coordinated images of light, without the necessity of drawing power from the oxygen. Man depends upon solids, liquids, gases, and energy for sustenance. Astral beings sustain themselves principally by the cosmic light. Mastermind, do astral beings eat anything? I was drinking in his marvelous elucidations with receptivity of all my faculties, mind, heart, soul. Superconscious perceptions of truth are permanently real and changeless, while fleeting sense experiences and expressions are never more than temporarily or relatively true. and soon lose in memory all their vividness. My Guru's words were so penetratingly imprinted on the parchment of my being that at any time, by transferring my mind to the superconscious state, I can clearly relive the divine experience. Luminous ray like vegetables abound in the astral soils. He answered, the astral beings consume vegetables and drink a nectar flowing from glorious fountains of light and from the astral brooks and rivers. Just as invisible images of a person's on earth can be dug out of the ether and made visible by a television apparatus, later being dismissed again into the space, so the God created unseen astral blueprints of vegetables and plants floating in the ether are precipitated on an astral planet by the will of its inhabitants. In the same way, from the wildest fancies of these beings, whole gardens of fragrant flowers are materialized, returning later to the etheric invisibility. Although dwellers on the heavenly planets like Hiranyaloka are almost freed from any necessity of eating, still higher is the unconditioned existence of almost completely liberated souls in the causal world, who eat nothing save the manna of bliss. The earth-liberated astral being meets a multitude of relatives, fathers, mothers, wives, husbands, and friends acquired during different incarnations on earth, as they appear from time to time in various parts of the astral realms. He is therefore at a loss to understand whom to love especially. He learns in this way to give a divine and equal love to all, as children and individualized expressions of God. Though the outward appearance of loved ones may have changed more or less according to the development of new qualities in the latest life of any particular soul, the astral being employs his unerring intuition to recognize all those once dear to him in other planes of existence and to welcome them to their new astral home, because every atom in creation is inextinguishably dowered with individuality. An astral friend will be recognized no matter what costume he may don. Even as on earth, an actor's identity is discoverable by close observation despite any disguise. The span of life in the astral world is much longer than on earth. A normal advanced astral being's average life period is from 500 to 1000 years, measured in accordance with earthly standards of time. As certain redwood trees outlive most trees by millenniums, or as some yogis live several hundred years, through most men die before the age of 60. So, some astral beings live much longer than usual span of astral existence. Visitors to the astral world dwell there for a longer or shorter period in accordance with the weight of their physical karma, which draws them back to the earth within a specific time. The astral being does not have to contend painfully with death at the time of shedding his luminous body. Many of these beings nevertheless feel slightly nervous at the thought of dropping their astral form for the subtler causal one. The astral world is free from unwilling death, disease, and old age. These three dread are the curse of earth, where man has allowed his consciousness to identify itself almost wholly with a fragile physical body, requiring constant aid in the form of air, food, and sleep in order to exist all. Physical death is attended by the disappearance of breath and disintegration of fleshly cells. Astral death consists of disbursement of lifetrons, those manifest units of energy which constitute the life of astral beings. At physical death, a being loses his consciousness of flesh and becomes aware of his subtle body in the astral world. Experiencing astral death in due time, a being thus passes from the consciousness of astral birth and death to that of physical birth and death. These recurrent cycles of astral and physical encasement are the inscrutable destiny of all unenlightened beings. Scriptural definitions of heaven and hell sometimes stir man's deeper than subconscious memories of his long series of experiences in the blithesome astral and disappointing terrestrial worlds. Beloved Master, I asked, will you please describe more in detail the difference between rebirth on the earth and in the astral and causal spheres? Friends, anybody who resonates with my videos, please do comment. I would like to know more about you. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.